today I will be tackling some SQL problems, and I'm on the platform called CodeSignal. So I've been working on HackerRank, but I kind of ran out of SQL problems on that platform, so that's why I'm here. So this one is called website hacking. Implement the missing code in this bracket. Okay, so all I have to do is like fill in this code. So you've been dreaming about becoming a famous hacker all your life. Okay, and now it's time to make your dreams come true. You decided to start by finding a website that has some vulnerability, and you find a doozy. This particular website has an open data set called users, of course. Will return the records of all existing types. Oh, okay. So the query currently says where users type equals users, but now I want to update this so that it will return records of all existing types. Grab all of the users. So I need to put something in here that kind of breaks this code. Okay, fair enough. So let me see. So select all users type. So what could I put in here to throw it all? Where type equals users, I could just put an and 1 equals 1, or 1 equals 1, and I pass everything. Yeah, it'll just pass everything. So that's a little bit of SQL injection if you're ever familiar with it. That's effectively what they're testing. What stuff other people came up with. I think or true. Okay, that's fair. Or 1. Yeah. Basically, your company hired an intern database engineer who immediately started updating the system. Unfortunately, he hasn't fully grasped the concept of null values yet, and he performed some incorrect inserts to the departments table, which has the following structure: ID, name, description. Now you have a table where the description column holds values such as null as a string, actual null, nil, and then like a dash as a. So this is just really bad representations of what is effectively null. You need to find out exactly how many records in the table should have null in the description, regardless of whether the intern put the value or not. So he used the following values to indicate null. Null with any number of spaces on either side, case insensitive, arbitrary number of nulls. Okay. Nil, same thing. Case insensitive. My goodness. Single dash, arbitrary spaces. Okay. Given the departments table, compose a resulting table that will return 3 because 3 is the number of rows with null. Oh, I see. Okay, so in this case, this IT thing is not null, so it counts as a not null. Okay, fair enough. But all this other stuff is null, so you count the number of nulls as that. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so I like to do my select statements first. I like to do my where, and then I think that's it. Yeah, it's just select. It releases a count of everything. Once we have our where statement, that does a filtering as number of nulls from departments, and this is where my where happens to be the same thing. So this is going to be a bunch of or statements where I have the regular expression like thing, which is description like, and I could use I think it's a string. Yeah, I think it's a string where it's like null with any number of spaces. Yeah, actually, it can't be anything on the left. I think it has to be spaces specifically. So how the heck do I do that? Standard character class names are that. So I can actually use the word space. I have to use enclosed things. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is all getting more complicated. All right. So this is not that. It's supposed to be like this with double dot and the word space. Oh boy. All right. Let's see if that works at all. Okay, so I get some results, no errors, and I get no output at all. Let me go to this comments here because that's usually a good place to start here. So that's another thing. Yeah, like is null is a valid. So description is null, or that trim. That is a good point. You could just trim the spaces off. That is a very good point. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, here's the thing too. Like, I recognize that you can trim it, but I really want to understand how to do this kind of thing with regular expressions. That is, I think, a good practice. Wait, what? You can do this? Regex? Oh, really? So it's not like it's regex. Really? Let's see that. Because that's very much what I was kind of looking for. Oh, I got some output. Oh my god, I have output. This is perfect. Okay, so that's basically the solution then. Very cool. So it's not, you don't use like, you use regular expression. Okay, I think that should be it. Let's see. So there are 4 things. Not nil. That's interesting. So this needs to be starting and ending with the space, technically. Because it's not nil, it was picking up because there's technically a space in front of it, but that's not valid. Okay, cool. So this is proper. I can now do what I had before, which is to count everything as number of nulls. All right, these passed. Very good. Yeah, so I think it was a better exercise to actually do the regular expression here. So to explain how this is working, we have this. So you can kind of ignore this this like procedure thing because it's just like their way of executing the code that you provide them with. So this is the code that really actually matters. So I'll put a little space here. All right, so what we're doing, we are, the way that we have code execution, the from executes first. So this is actually from departments. You pull that data, it gets put into like the current reference. Then you will do your where clause. And so here I'm saying descriptions that are actually null are totally valid. Or if I uppercase the description, which looks something like this, we have the regular expression being executed where the space needs to be at the very beginning. And you can have any number. So that's what the little star here means. Any number of those. The actual word null. And because I'm doing uppercase, there's effectively it's a case-insensitive search. Another space that occurs any number of times, and then it will be at the very end of it. So if there's anything after that spacing, then it won't be valid. So that's the case for null, the same thing for nil, and the same case for this little dash here, which is what they refer to. Yeah, here's like a single dash with an arbitrary number of spaces on the left and right. Okay, and that's my execution, and it runs just fine. I'm going to run it again. I realize now that my face is actually down here, so you probably can't see it, but I will submit here. There's a lot. For some reason, the way CodeSignal does it, it's like there's a lot of fanfare just for completing something. But yeah, I got that one down. Cool. I got a new level, a new badge, or whatever it is. So let's check out this last one. I want to. You really love counting stuff. Sure. In fact, right now you're sitting on a meadow, counting all the legs you see. Okay. There are some people, some dogs, and some cats on the meadow. You're pretty confident that each human has 2 legs and the cats have 4 legs. How can you not distinguish the... Anyway, the information about all the creatures on the meadow is stored in a table. Of course it is. With the following structure. ID, name, type, human, cat, or dog. This column has the enum type. I don't even know what that is. What is enum? Let me check that out because I don't actually know what that is. So SQL enum type. The data type, not standard. Enum is a string object with a value chosen from a list. Okay. At table creation time. Okay, fine, whatever. Build a new table that only contains 1 column, summary legs, which is basically just adding up the number of legs. Are you serious? Okay, fine. Here, though, we are given select statement blank as summary legs. So this is just going to be a kind of count from creatures order by ID. Order by ID. Okay, that doesn't really matter too much. So the select statement is where I have my count. But so I think the idea that it's enumerable, that's what matters, right? So let me check out this thing. For enum values, the index number is used in the calculation. Aha, so that's part of it. Okay, so this is a very key point. For enum values, the index number is used in the calculation. What does that even mean? It's supposed to be type, right? Type, okay. Type. It's not group by. Okay, it passed, what? 7. So human is 2. So I need to do here is like a do casing? Case type when 0. I want you to sum. Then I'm just adding 2. Then 2. Else 4. End. Is that right? Let me see. I got 16 now. Okay, did I mess up? Win 0. Maybe, I guess I overcounted. So maybe this is win 1? Is human... I don't understand what... Is this a 1? When type is 1? Like, where does human... I don't know how enum works. That checked out? Okay, so for that, I need it to understand that enum... Okay, so it says enum values are sorted based on their index numbers, which depend on the order in which they were listed in the column specification. So how the heck am I supposed to know what that is? I don't think they tell me, right? They list here human first. So I thought human was supposed to be 0, but I guess it's supposed to be 1. Anyway, what we have here is a situation where this enum type is the key to it. Do your calculation based on the enumerated index, which is a thing. So any kind of enumeration is just the idea of having a value associated with a index. Usually it's like 0, 1, 2, 3, and then the value associated with it. So we have the same thing here where there's human, cat, dog as the value, but on the index side we have 0, 1, and 2. It turns out that human is the index of 1, which I didn't realize until I had to kind of test it out. So they don't really give you all that information here. But with that little trial and error, you can figure it out pretty quickly. So in this case, 1 is the same thing as saying, are you human? Use 2 as the value that you're adding, and then 4 otherwise, which is the cats and dogs. So otherwise, pretty straightforward. I thought it was an interesting data type, enum, but kind of weird that I'm not allowed to like access it the way I normally would. So it's just basically teaching you enumerator. Okay, that's it for me today. I'll be doing some more SQL stuff because I am going to be exploring more data science jobs, and therefore that's what I need to be studying. So if you find this content interesting and useful, then please do leave a like or subscribe, and that lets me know that what I'm doing is actually worth doing. I'll see you next time. Bye.